Let's look at an analogy that's going to make a very important point. Let's say you're on an airplane and you're trying to convince another passenger to put on a parachute because you know at any moment he's going to have to jump 25,000 feet out of the plane. You have two lines of reasoning. The first is, you try to convince him that the plane was made by Boeing. Now, this is important because it will give credibility to the emergency card, which will tell him about the parachute. So, you point out the fact that the maker's name is written all over the plane. He doesn't buy it. He thinks the plane happened by accident. Then, you tell him that it's a relatively new plane. He thinks it's an old plane. You say you have proof, so does he. And as long as you disagree, he ignores the emergency card and you find yourself in a frustrating and perilous situation.
The second line of reasoning is much easier. All you do is you tell him about the law of gravity. And you say what it will do to him if he jumps 25,000 feet on his frail body. His eyes widen with fear, and he says, "Hey, would you pass me that emergency card thing? I want to check it out." Now, you and I want to convince sinners to put on the Lord Jesus Christ. We can talk to them about God and His existence. We can talk to them about the age of the earth, and how old it is or how young it is. And this leads to all sorts of discussions which often end in arguments. Or we can tell them about the jump, that he has to pass through the door of death and face a holy God and a holy law, whether he believes in God or not, on the day of judgment. We show him the 10 Commandments, which stir the conscience and bring the knowledge of sin. He realizes his danger and sees his need to put on the Lord Jesus Christ. Tony, would you consider yourself to be a good person?
Yeah.
To learn more about the theory of evolution and how to reach the lost the way Jesus did, please go to our website at wayofthemaster.com and get a hold of the Evidence Bible. It's packed full of tools to help you share your faith. You can also get it at your local bookstore.
And don't forget about the Way of the Master book. That's our most important book, and also the foundation course that many churches are using to train up their people.
Make no mistake, that is exactly their agenda. They want to scare the living crap out of you so that you don't ask questions and go along with and buy whatever they say. You know, I actually really kind of got into the evolution-creationism debate a couple years ago by looking at the creationist evidence. Like I said, I've got a lot of training in biology. I'm an evolutionary biology major to begin with before I decided to go for oral surgery, and it was a lot. I just didn't understand what the issue was with evolution and why people, or not scientific people, but just the public actually had an issue with it. So I looked into it, and I took a look, and I spent a lot of time on creationist websites trying to hear what they had to say. And the more that I saw, the more I just became angry. I mean, and as a Christian, just seeing my fellow Christians sitting here and lying just through their teeth, just completely bastardizing quotes and evidence and biology and just everything in general and just preying on ignorance to support their point of view, it just disgusted me. And that's why I do essentially what I do. So in conclusion, what people like Kirk Cameron and Ray Comfort and Kent Hovind have to say actually makes a lot of sense if you're not educated at all in biology. Unfortunately, to people who are educated in the subject, and when you actually take a look at the facts, it becomes readily apparent that they're lying, and the evidence doesn't support them. So what does it say about the veracity of one's position when they have to resort to lies, dishonesty, and they must rely on your ignorance of the subject to convince anyone? You know, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And when you try and pull one past people like me and lie to me, we get pissed and we expose you as the liars.